Holy jumping Jesus Christ, a giant shark is biting Robert Shaw in half. How's he not full? He's had like 7 kids today. And a seal, and some chips I dropped into the sea. And a seal, he's going to get a stomachache. Come on, lovelies. Don't you know the words to the Jaws theme tune? Don't you? What's wrong with this damn generation? Didn't you learn your nursery rhymes when you were a kid? This is my karaoke song, this. I'll let you off this time with a ticket, you cultureless motherfuckers, just because it's Monday. Just because it's time for another Retro Rumble. This week clinging to the big, sexy dorsal fin of Jaws, LJN's 1987 take on the movie franchise of the same name, as it pulls us through the ocean and we slowly stand, arms spread, the sunset blazing in the maroon sky. I'm the king of the world! Now draw me, Jaws. Draw me like your French girls. I mean, what? I didn't have that dream and wake up crying. Stop distracting me! Because his faithful channel paladin Roger Babin... Babin? I'm so fucking sorry, dude. Your language is like poison in my throat, you know. As Roger kindly pointed out last week, I need to explain the goddamn game before I start going off on my lunatic rants about dreams I didn't have about marrying Jaws. So, I'm gonna bloody well do it. Gotta be professional, lovelies. I want to do this full time at some point, you know. Not this, not play fucking Jaws on NES. Mercy of Christ, can you imagine? I'd rather slow roast my own leg in leper vomit. Alright, so the ultimate aim here is to get the 25-foot, 3-ton sack of fish fuck Jaws out of your goddamn ocean. And we're going to do that by stabbing him through his black heart with the bowsprit of our boats. Yeah, the bowsprit. I know my boating terms for some godforsaken reason. But you can't just sail up to Jaws and ram him with your ship, go home, eat a steak, make love to your wife like a big man. For one thing, you're out your special pills. And for another, you don't even have the receiver yet. What do you think you're doing? Hunting ocean-dwelling atrocities without a receiver? Who gave you your sea license? Captain motherfucking Birdseye? Because that would truly shock and disappoint me. He's built a reputation on nautical excellence. It isn't like him to accept bribes. Something must be wrong. I'm gonna call him. In a minute, because I'm not going off on any tangents. I'm explaining the damn game, so listen and stop distracting me with fish fingers. What? I'm bombing jellyfish. While I'm doing that, for some reason it's never once explained to you in the game or manual, take a look at the bottom of the screen there. From left to right, you have your score, which, as with many games of yesteryear, is for nothing more exotic than bragging rights. Next to that, you have shells, which are much more important, as shells serve as the main currency in this game. Jaws has devastated the holy fucking goddamn out of this place to the point where their economy is shattered, and they're trading in shit that they can only find on the beach, where Jaws is waiting for them. My god, he's devious. What a scheme. That's some Bond-level scheming. As you'll have seen already, you get shells from harpooning the screaming Christ out of anything unfortunate enough to be in the ocean when you fall out of your boat, and also from this bonus stage, depending on how many jellyfish you kill from your plane. 18 hits! Yahoo! Let's see what that's worth. 6 shells in a bucket! And if you ain't down with that, I've got 2 words for you. Go away. I'll scream, mister. You'll go on a register. Oh shit, it's Jaws! Did you see the fin? Time for Jaws' 17th breakfast of the day. Motherfucker's diabetic, I swear to God. There he is. Take it in the arse, you glassy-eyed bastard. Jaws is pathetic. He's the least deadly thing in this entire game. Pay him no mind for now. I'll explain properly in a bit. So, right next to shells, we've got power. We did have hits a moment ago in the bonus stage, which tells you how many jellyfish you've managed to cheat out of their simple lives with the arcane war magics of man. But here, power indicates, shockingly, your power level, which will be able to increase up to a maximum of, I think, 9. Yeah, it is. Yeah, 9. Keep trying for that 10th level. You'll never get it. You'll never control these oceans. You're not God. Your power level is a direct representation of how much damage you can do with your harpoons, which brings us neatly onto the final statistic on the right. Jaws' power! Look at it, it's immense. Look how foolish you appear at level 1, even considering firing your feeble, limp harpoons at the mighty Jaws. The shark's name isn't actually Jaws, by the way. I've been itching to get that out at some point. Jaws is the name of the Peter Benchley novel. The shark doesn't have a name. And I say the shark, unless you've sat through the franchise, which declines in quality at an alarming rate. You might not know that each movie features a different shark, none of which are called Jaws. Eat it, fish! So, whenever you directly crash into Jaws, you get to stay in your boat for a second and blast cannonballs at his stupid overbite face. Look at him. What a fucking dork. You can see along his health bar there that we have absolutely no chance in any religion's hell of taking him down with our puny power levels. So, now, the game becomes entirely about collecting shells. Get enough shells to boost yourself up to a respectable power level, and your harpoons will have enough juice in them to bring Jaws down in one of these ocean encounters, at which point he'll deem you worthy enough to take you to the final battle. Now, you'll notice that we bought ourselves the receiver from the port just before we ran into Jaws, and that means that now you have a constant sonar pulse on the overworld map that's supposed to tell you where Jaws is hiding and help you track him. But the damn thing is completely fucking useless for two reasons. One, if he's anywhere near you, he'll surface and show himself anyway. And two, if he's that far away that you have to use the receiver to hunt him down, you'll run into another random encounter long before you ever actually get to him, and he'll reset his position when you spawn back on the map. So literally the only reason we have this piece of shit is because the game forces it on you before it will let you pay to raise your power levels, which you also have to do in the ports. These random encounters, there's nothing random about them. When the game senses you're heading back to the docks, it summons every creature in the fucking ocean to assault your boat. And you're down here for a minute at a time. Non-negotiable. You can't just kill a set amount of jellyfish and stingrays and be done with it. No. You're down here for 1 whole minute, no matter what you do. And you might say, well, gotta be farming those shells, fraggers. Yes, sir. Ain't no game without pain. Gotta put your nose in the dirt, fill that bucket up with the wonders of God's creation. And yes, you are correct right now. We do need more shells to buy some harpoons that will do something besides bounce off of the bastard shark. But what ends up happening in this game is that you get beat down with so many of these random encounters that you end up with a gigantic surplus of shells by the time you're ready to fight Jaws. Because you don't need to go all the way to power level 9 to take him down. Not even fucking close. You can comfortably wear him down at around 4 or 5. Easily. Now again, I hear you chime in with your goddamn mouth and your opinions.
See here, fraggers, what you gotta do, you gotta grab just the right amount of shells that you need, right? And then all you gotta do, stay by the harbor and just keep heading in and out, like you're making sweet love to the little lady. And it'll raise your power levels up without you having to make like Ahab on all these darn sea critters. You see, you gotta work smarter, fraggers, not harder, smarter. Like my old Uncle Jeb used to—
Shut up! Shut your fucking mouth this instant! Don't you think I've thought of that already? No, LJN have made damn sure that there'll be no abusing of the ports, because you can't visit the same one twice in a row. You have to buy your shit from one port and then sail back across the map to the other one. Nobody wants to be seen doing business with you, is what it seems like. Jaws is watching. He'll eat their shop. So unfortunately, you're stuck with this catastrophe of sea battles for the duration of the game. And don't die. Don't ever die, or it'll make you buy the fucking receiver again before you can carry on raising your power levels up. Can't find Jaws without the receiver, despite the fact that he turns up 12 times a day like fucking clockwork to eat everybody off at the damn beach. And that's really the entire game. I mean, you've seen it all now. Oh my god, 3 feet from the fucking harbour. Are you dicking me? You've hit something. So the fuck what? I'm in a boat. I'm not on a Sunday drive in a bloody country lane. You don't just jump into the sea and check, do you? Why? Why would you? Doesn't make a shit of sense, does it? The only thing we could possibly have hit that we care about is Jaws. If that's the case, what kind of oxygen-starved aqua berserker are you playing as that would just leap overboard with a harpoon gun at a complete lack of fucks? That's another pain in the arse to being caught just outside of the port. You notice the water's a lot shallower here, which gives you far less room to maneuver around. Jesus Christ, this is pointless. At the moment, right, I have 2 more shells than I will ever need to get to the appropriate power level to beat this game. And yet, I will have to alternately visit the ports another 4 times before I can do anything about it. And that is Jaws in a nutshell. You're just floating around with your dick in your hands, killing time. Going back and forth between point A and point B, falling out your boat every now and again to butcher sea life until you don't suck enough to be able to force Jaws into its endgame. The design ethic reminds me of a game LJM made a couple of years after this, the adaptation of Friday the 13th, which gets a lot of shit, but I've always felt that it was a massively underrated game, in that pretty much everything is open to you from the very beginning, and you're kind of left to get on with it. And I mean, that kind of worked for Friday the 13th, that has no merit here. This is one of the dullest pieces of shit I've ever played, but funny thing with Jaws, you can finish it in about 5 or 6 minutes if you're lucky. And I do mean lucky, this is entirely dependent on luck, but sometimes, what I've only ever determined to be complete random, a submarine will spawn on the map, and if you can grab it, it doesn't matter what power level you're at, because you'll be able to torpedo Jaws' soul out of his fucking body and go straight to the final boss fight. It's ludicrous. I have no idea how to make that happen. Fucking thing just materializes in front of you like, today's the day, son! Today's the bloody day! No spending 20 minutes lurching from port to port for you. Jump in. But unless that happens, you've got another 10 minutes of this shit to sit through at the very least. So, because I'm not literally just the worst person who ever lived, I'm going to speed it up for you in editing and take you straight to just before the final battle. Enjoy the drive, lovelies. Don't mind me. I'll walk.
If I'm gonna eat somebody, it might as well be you. I can see you as a...
Come to daddy, you goofy Carcaronian bastard. We've got him now, lovelies. God almighty. I thought we'd lucked out about 5 minutes ago when we found the submarine, but then the motherfucker just went AWOL on me. Didn't return my calls or nothing. Well, I found you now, you son of a bitch. And I'm gonna wreck you, man to fish. I don't care that I lost my yellow submarine. I hate the fucking Beatles. Look, this is why Jaws is the most pathetic thing in his own game. If you stay on the very top of the water, he can't even touch you. You can just stay up there, drop down behind him, fill his clump shaft with enough steel to sell him to a fucking scrapyard. Here we go. After 10,000 harpoons in the face and back, we finally goaded this pussy into a showdown. Alright, this is the worst boss battle on God's earth. You gotta line the boat up, wait until he's dead in front of the bowsprit, fire a strobe to launch him out the water, and then first fucking try, right in the throat, son. He's gonna need himself a voice box for the sequel.
Remember me, you son of a bitch. You've turned me into an abomination.
You were already an abomination, fish. We both know that. And now that you can speak in the language of man, even more so. I mean, where did you even...
A lot changes in 18 months. Now get in the sea and fight me.
No, Jaws. I've settled down now. Got a family. I don't fight fictional sharks for sport anymore.
So easy for some to leave the past behind. So easy to let go when you haven't been stabbed through the throat by a ship. You will fight me, one way or another. Sleep with one eye open. Don't leave your taps running. Don't shower. Don't go out in the rain. I will find you. I will eat you. You are marked for death, Sheriff Brody.
You see? That'd be a much better ending to the movie.
Prehistoric bitch, how we do things downtown.